up to speed, up to speed, up to speed.
Live from the apocalypse in a hard-headed family, there is no peace. Welcome to State of the Game. Thank you for everything you do every week being with us. I am Dan O, and a recent footage, my son has recent footage of me dancing and mouthing Rita Dante songs. I don't know if those are going to hit the public.
He's got blackmail money for you.
Yeah, keep that one in the tuck.
He was like, the end of the video is him just laughing at, like, I am completely silent, eyes closed. It was a long Friday, you know. Dancing in the living room by myself. That's who I am. My co-host has more advertisement dollars in Japan than Shaq does in the U.S. You know.
Yeah, that's who I am. Absolutely.
If you buy Icy Hot in Japan, okay, thank you for everything.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome. I remember when I started making up things about you in the intro, and the guests didn't know, and they were like, "Use the whole." It was great. You missed the pure days, but thank you for being here. This is our Shrapknel Triple Steel Beam episode. Shrapknel is a group we know a lot about, and I want to intro them by just saying that Shrapknel. Don't ask them how much they make. Ask them about the rage that bubbles inside of them. That is Fallout Culture reference. Dennis Scott camp. You guys got to get up on that. But we've seen them grow and evolve. Curly Castro and PremRock. Castro's on public transportation and will be here. Prem, thank you for being here.
Yeah. Thank you.
Appreciate
it. Thank you for doing this. And Raph and Ohbliv, thank you guys for making the time. I appreciate it.
Of course, man. Appreciate you guys.
I've spoken to Raphy before because he was MVP of the Bruiser Wolf year, the connective tissue between TV62 and your favorite Bruiser Wolf and all of it, right? So
crazy year.
Loved Raphy from that get-go.
Thank you, brother.
And glad to have you here.
Thank you.
And another producer I'm very happy to have involved in this. So, to tell you a quick story, before I had an intro and outro for State of the Game, I revolved different beats from producers that they put out on beat tapes. And I fell into an Ohbliv hole and was like, I just want to put Ohbliv beats on, and was nice enough to be like, yeah, do that. Here it is. Here's some codes. And so what I would do is every week I would sit outside with my son and play Ohbliv beats and ask him which ones were good for intros and outros. And he'd be like, oh, that's the outro, and he was like, I don't know, 6'5", some shit like that. It was Ohbliv is a big part of my son understanding hip hop production. So that's really dope,
For the kids.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's the wave. And we have Steel Tip Dove, who's popped in here on mute. So we will see Dove, the impresario of Fused Arrow Records. We were doing a backwoods fantasy draft, right? Guests were Rhino and Caltrops Press. And Caltrops Press said, in 5 years, you're going to be doing one of these for Fused Arrow. And looking at this year, that is not a bad prediction. Not a bad prediction. Yeah, Fused Arrow has been fantastic.
Yo.
Hello, Dove.
What up?
What up?
Am I not the only late one? Looks like Castro's not here.
Castro's on public transportation, so he will pop in, pop out. Yeah, in a demonstrably Castro way, which is great. So yeah, thank you for being here. And I guess I would want to talk to. First question is for K Diggy.
Yeah,
Right? We know more about shrapnel than we do a lot of other people we talk to here.
for sure. Yeah.
And we like our relationship with them has evolved over time, right?
Mhm.
Um, how would you characterize triple steel beam as a step for them? How are you thinking of it?
Okay, so triple steel beam, that's the 3 projects.
3 projects we're talking about. Yep. It's under the umbrella of triple steel beam.
I like it. I know we've had this talk about and we brought up rapper production and sometimes how we feel like it's too much.
Right.
But so I was kind of weary at the beginning, but then as I listened to the projects and I started to understand the scope of it, I kind of felt like I understood what the vision was.
What do you think the vision was?
I mean, I think really what it was for me, I think like they connect, like we've talked about rappers in the past in terms of overproduction. It didn't feel like there was a connection between the projects. And for me, I feel like there's like a similar, like there's a connection between all 3 projects.
Yep.
There's themes that are addressed all over the 3 projects. There's motifs that's carried over.
Yep.
So to me, there's kind of like a connecting tissue for all 3 things, all 3 projects or albums that really bonds them together to form one unified thing for me.
I like that.
Yeah.
So talk to Castro's here. Castro, how did this come together? Making these albums, putting them through Fused Arrow. How did this take place?
Well, it was very much born off Prem and I's adventures on the road and just trying to cultivate fruitful relationships with new producers. And sometimes you need that FaceTime. You don't always have that capability. A lot of times we do things online, over the web and stuff. But this stuff afforded us a unique opportunity to meet Mike Glad, have FaceTime in person, to meet and cultivate something with Ohbliv, pardon me, and to reinforce our relationship with Raphy that we had started the year prior. So we didn't plan, and frankly, we never planned to make 3 joints, but it just seemed like very much organically that came together. And then when we completed the joints, we had certain people tell us, "Yo, please don't ask me to put this out for y'all." So we had to go. He was like, "Yo, please don't." And so we had to go another route. Oh, I'm tripping. Where am I at?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm tripping. I'm low.
What do you think the opposition was to putting? Why would there be opposition to putting them all out?
Because it's psychotic.
No. Well, there goes the man right there. Logistics and calendars.
Yeah.
And so as Dub eloquently put it, it was psychotic. we had somebody else suggest to us split all 3 and put one on different labels. And me and Prem thought about it. And then like 5 minutes later, he was like, "Nah, let's just call Dub." And then we went that way. For sure.
That's awesome.
Understand.
That's awesome.
Prem, jump in. I'm jumping on the train real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah. No, definitely. Never. We didn't. We didn't set out to make it. 3 records. We had no idea the trilogy was going to come to effect. But we work pretty steadily as everyone does in this room. I think if you're making a projects come out. What people don't realize is how long a project might take from completion to when you hear it. Sometimes we'll just sometimes things just come out, right? But sometimes it takes a year, 2 years, or you're like you're tied in with a label and you got to wait on their schedule. we were all chipping away at these projects, and then they started like rounding the corner around the same time, and then it just became, it kind of just all worked in concert, like that all three of these records were gonna, and then if we did it all three together, you know, I hadn't heard of anyone who had done that before, really, you know, and because I knew the quality of the records, right? I wasn't, anyone could be like, all right, here's 3 records, and then you're like, damn, I'm dealing with like 7 songs that I don't want to hear out of it, you know, which is if 3 records and there's only 7 that you don't like, that's probably pretty good. But we were trying to be like, no, we want 3 records to stand on their own in our catalog. If you zoom out 10 years from now, there'll be some people you can pick up any one of these records and be like, yeah, nah, this is part of the canon and the story of ShrapKnel. So, but to me, they're all linked together. Like I can never separate the 3. And it's fun. Like before we put them out, I was just rotating and listening. I'm like, when I wanted to feel a certain way, I put this on. When I wanted to hit the gym, I'm putting the Raphy one on. You know, when I wanted to like walk around Fort Greene Park, I put on the Ohbliv one, you know. And when I wanted to like ride the train, I put on the Mike Ladd one. And
like, don't get us wrong. We know we're psychotic. Nobody doubles their catalog.
Sure.
And there's concerns, like Prem said, these 3 are linked, especially since the way we work on it. But I want our fans to be able to take them separately as well. Because it's not like 3 EPs, they're like 3 fully fleshed projects. I think they all have a different identity. I appreciate Kay saying he sees the through line. To me, they're not. I think I know that we put them together as a collection, but I think we put in some efforts for each one to have their own identity. So if and that was a worry, just in the sense that we didn't know who people would vibe with, and we're giving them all these choices at once. But we wanted the people to have the choice. If they want to bump with Ladd, go get that one. We'll get 3 copies of that. If you want to bang with Raphy, get 5 copies of that. If you like Ohbliv personally, get 5 copies of that. You know what I mean? And so we didn't want people to be limited. But we did offer them the bundle, and we were surprised because a lot of our fans, they copped it sight unseen. We didn't put out nothing. Nobody heard a leak. The first time we put it up, it was sight unseen. We was just, you know, if our fans had some faith in us, then, you know, go make the purchase.
And
we appreciated that.
That's part of the process that I love about buying music, is like that process of like, I trust these artists. They always do good work. Instant cop, you know? Or do I trust this? Let me listen to the singles a little bit and wrestle with it. Like, I like that process. That's how I grew up, you know, listening to music. So, yeah, you guys have earned that instant cop thing. So, Dove, what were the challenges when you agreed to do this? What did you see as your primary challenges in how to do this? How to
dealing with me more than he wants to?
Money and logistics, I would say. I was like, do I have enough money for this? Do I, you know, is it going to be crazy? And it was crazy, and it was a lot of money, but it was fine. Like I looked at it and I was like, all right, I can do this if we figure it out. And we figured it out. You know, it was such an exciting opportunity. I like wanted to make it work, you know, so just figured out how to make it work. And then, I mean, like you know, it would have been a little crazy if we tried to press, you know, a significant amount more. There were talks of pressing like a significant amount more upon the first pressing. That would have, I guess, been fine because we did sell a lot, but it just would have, it felt riskier to me. We didn't know what to expect. I mean, there was confidence, but we didn't know, because it's a lot to ask people to drop over $100. You know,
I was overly confident.
Yeah, Prem was very confident.
But again, you don't want to, if you know, I would have been like press it. I'm like, put the crib up, man. We're gonna sell all of these, you know.
Yeah.
And if not, I'm gonna hit the road until they're gone.
Prem had us harvesting eggs.
I mean,
banks. He was really trying.
I was like, nah, man. These records are great, man. The art is tight, you know. But then again, I'm not, you know, that you don't want
all
me in
the
charge.
chips on black. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't want me in charge.
That's how you gotta be, though. That's how you gotta be, man. I feel that.
Definitely. Yeah. I'll deal with the repercussions later.
Right. Thanks.
Yeah,
It turned out really good though. Like, I mean, it turned out really good. We did all right.
yeah. I went to talk about like I think best way to lead that at K because we got the advances right from Fused Arrow. All like the critics that dial in here got it kind of at the same time on the mailing list, and I'm in a Discord with some of them, and I was talking to some of them, and I think the general reaction was, "Ooh, the Ohbliv Armature's the one. Like that's the one." And the more I listened to it, I was like, "Y'all don't realize Armature is the end of the movie for your listening experience, right?"
Yeah.
Like, so think about it like, the main character takes a hard L in the beginning of the movie from the bad guy, right? Goes into training with the sensei. You love the sensei. The sensei gets him up to speed. He's ready, but the sensei dies. It's terrible. Now, in the end of the movie, he avenges the sensei, takes care of the bad guy. You love the end of the movie. Armature is kind of the end of the movie for that listening experience for the critics, right? But Raphy's the sensei, like in the beginning of the movie, like Lincoln Continental Breakfast is like the old hammer in your house that's fixed everything, you know? Uh, there's so much utility to it. Uh, and Armature is so beautiful, it delivers on that. So the more I listened to all three of them, the more I loved all three of them, and the less I could pick a favorite.
That's a good out. That's a
Can can we kind of talk? Can we talk about the timeline? Like, what was
It's a good point.
like how? I mean, so let's see. I'm counting up. Lincoln Continental is 10 songs. Sasir Le Feu is 12 songs, so that's 22. And then Armature is 10 songs, so that's 32 songs.
Yeah.
What is like the timeline of the formation of these projects?
let's see if I can
Oh,
what's your best guess?
you got
Prem,
receipts. You got actual.
yeah, I'm gonna look in the folders.
Oh, the session. Oh, you got the dates on the sessions. Damn. My best would be the lad and the Raphy. We were doing that like at the same time, kind of, and then like we put the foot on the gas on one or the other. Ohbliv for sure was the most recent though.
Okay.
I remember
Really?
that. Yeah, yeah. I mean, from a writing standpoint, because we hadn't met Bliv until later, so and that's when it kind of that's how it became the three, the trilogy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Sasir and Lincoln were kind of
They're kind of at the same
created together.
time, I would say. Yeah, a little bit. I mean,
Okay.
there's times where we put our foot on the gas on one, or be like, we gotta really do this Raphy
Yeah.
track. You know what I
Because
mean?
right, because I did notice like, and that's why I said at the beginning, like the connecting tissue. I
Mhm.
did notice themes in both of them
Yeah.
that were kind of, particularly with like the blade. There's like a blade,
Played opera.
blade up. Yeah, there's like a
Yeah.
blade sword motif that's kind of
Yep.
connected in those two. So I did notice that there was a theme in those two.
Yep.
And then I did feel like the Ohbliv Armature was kind of like the way I thought about it was almost like the first two albums were a dream, and then the third one was like a reality, like a wake up.
Oh.
But nonetheless, I think I did notice like the connecting tissue between the first two projects.
Yeah, so I'm looking at sessions from January of 24.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Does that sound familiar, Prem?
Recording sessions?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. I feel like
Yeah, January 24 is when this might have kicked off. Any idea, Raphy, when?
Yeah, because you guys were in town. I want to say what end of 23, and that's when I
Yeah.
started sending beats. So then
Yeah,
that makes sense. And you guys probably started not too long after that.
Yeah.
I think you guys were like what October, November of 23.
That tracks actually.
And then let me see.
It's funny
Ohbliv.
when you start to think like the way time moves. I'm sure you guys can relate. You're like,
Oh
when you
yeah.
start putting timestamps on things, you're like, wait, when did I do that? And
Right.
with all you like, because shit moves around, and then I think there's always events that make you remember things. Like obviously, I know when I met Ohbliv, I could even pull up the flyer, right? Same with Raphy when I was in Raphy's house.
I'm looking at references on the Ohbliv, like references. So like the first demos or whatever from September of last year. So September of 2024.
So
Wow.
a year ago to next month.
Yeah, that's what it looks like from the from the Ohbliv references, and then the some of the Raphy references are like I said from January,
Yeah.
and then so the lad would have been right. I mean, right in the middle of that, right? Like
Yeah, word. That makes sense.
I'm looking at like some stuff from October, uh, December of 2023, actually on some of the Mike Ladd stuff too.
Wow.
Mm.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it was worked on for about a year or so.
Yeah, and that doesn't reflect writing or like listening.
Right.
I'm listening to a beat. I have a question for both the producers though, because
Do it.
I don't get this audience like this, man. So how long do you stay with a beat that you're like, I'm gonna use, like, I know that this is the one. Like, how I listen to, like, for example, like one of Ohbliv's beat, I'll listen to it like 150 times. You know what I mean? And Raphy same. For you, is it put it in the banger folder and move on, or do you play it over and over and over again?
For me personally, after I make a track and I know that it has potential, like it's something, I listen to it over and over and over again for a a good couple of months. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And then I'll sit on it.
Mm.
I'll sit on it for, I don't know, maybe a couple more months. And then I go back to it and I listen to it. And if it still gives me that same feeling, then that's when I start sending it out or
That's fascinating.
listen to it, you know?
That's cool.
So
Yeah.
can I ask you, when did you start working on beats for the project?
Some of the beats just worked out because I feel like our styles kind of align, and that goes more into like where our influences. Because when we met, we talked and we found out we had similar influences and inspirations with hip hop and music and stuff. So that kind of aligned. But once we talked at the end of that night about doing something, I started working on stuff. Like fleshing out ideas and so I would say about half of the beats were already made, and then the other 5 that they picked were like made for the project.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Raph, same question for you though, Raph. What's your process? Is it banger folder, move on?
My bad if it froze for a second.
Oh, yeah, no, it's all good. Same question.
Oh shit. Man, so like I'll make a beat and then like I'll listen to it for hours if I really love it. And then I'll eventually, I'll come back to it, but I just keep making stuff and I be forgetting about stuff. I just keep making shit, and and like there's not like the way I think about like there's stuff I love, but what I love isn't what I'll give to certain rappers in general, because they might not be able to rap to that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the way I like when I think about like what I give out and stuff, it's like usually I'd be thinking about like a project and stuff. So I'd be thinking stuff in like a certain vein, you know what I mean? Oh, yeah. And I put stuff away, like I categorize my beats in like that type of way, because like I don't know, sometimes there'll be shit I think is the truth, and niggas be like, nah, this is trash. And then there'll be stuff I think is trash. I'm like, you like this? And they're like, this is 10 of these. I'm like, what is going on? So I don't, so I just be categorizing my beats more so on like how they fit together with each other. What I think is a banger isn't always a banger. It's crazy. I don't know.
No, but rappers we're like that though. And like I remember I was working on a project with my boy Fresh Kills, and then we hit a roadblock. We're like, we just like when you're doing a collaborative record, you're like, where do we go next, right? He goes to the store to get like milk or something, and I just go to his computer, and I'm just like, what's this folder? I open it up and I'm like, and the perfect joint is right there. And he's like, I didn't think you were gonna like that one, so I never showed it to you. And I'm like, and it became like the best song on the record. and I'm like, what were you thinking? Like, this is me all day, and and it's just funny, that's the nature of our brains and how different we are as rappers and producers, I think.
Yeah, I wasn't lucky enough to be a producer on this trio, but
Got all the
it's impossible. I've found it impossible to try to pick from scratch what beats to send to what rapper. I'm just gonna send the most random shit, and then if they pick a couple, I'll be like, oh, okay. So these types. And then in the next pack, I'll try to dial it in more. But when I'm making stuff, if I'm like, oh yeah, this would be great for this rapper, chances are it's fucking not. Like I don't write, I don't rap, I don't sometimes I'm right, but if it's a 50-50 coin flip, there's no point in me trying to guess. If I have 10 beats, I'll just send all 10 and be like, you tell me, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Man, I would love it if Dove started rapping and sounded like Freddie Gibbs or something. That'd be awesome.
I mean, $1 million, I'll make a rap song. Liquid.
That's a price. All right.
That's the
Fine.
price.
If you can hand 1 million liquid, I'll try it. I'll do it.
Castro, I think you guys have got so much work in the tuck that when you reach out to a producer, that producer must be thinking in their head, "Oh, I've got some shrapnel ass beats. Like I've got those." Because like the kind of momentum you guys put out, like I'm sure it connects with bangers that people just have.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we all grew up pretty much, listening to similar stuff, and we are fans of each other. So, I feel like that's organically going to happen. It's naturally going to happen,
Yeah.
I feel like that's why it's important to like link up and meet face to face, because once you feel that energy, that's when it becomes real,
Yeah.
Right.
Because we're all pre-internet people, right? And then sometimes when you work with the newer generation, you realize you're like, oh, you guys don't talk on the phone like we did. You don't have the interface. So I'm definitely old school. I mean, if I had it my way, we'd do everything in person. But obviously, we know that that's not always going to be practical. But I am like the energy person, like shaking the hand, looking in the eyes, and now we know each other, and I want you to know that what my intentions are, like that I care a lot about this thing,
That I'm total not a basket case.
I'm not crazy.
I'm not freaking crazy.
I'm crazy in the way that I'll put 3 records out at once, but I'm yeah, or like a year later, you're not gonna have to distance yourself from me because I'm doing fuck shit.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's a big concern. But yeah, no, that's awesome, and it makes sense. The journey, and I was very excited. I was very excited for Raphy because I think what happened, and I was talking to people about this in Discords and things, that like Raphy's killed it, but it felt like people maybe that we were thinking about it as Raphy was confined to the Bruiser Brigade movement and his beats needed right? And like, so I just didn't hear his beats everywhere with other people working on them. And I know when ShrapKnel came to Maine and I was asking, what do you guys listen to on tour? They were like, Bruiser Brigade, So when I saw this, I was like, this is fantastic. I'm so glad, because I know Raphy's big enough to give beats to anybody, you know what I mean, and have them sound good on it. So this was a great opportunity for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Bruiser Backwoods pipeline had been kind of brewing, you got Fat Ray on Woods' record, Church. You got some other things, like I was on Just's record.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I think it's just mutual respect. I mean, there's something. There's
a Wolf on the Gollywog album. Christmas.
Yeah, crazy. Man, when I first heard that, I heard that in the car on tour. I was like, what the fuck? Because I'm like in my head, I'm like, how's that gonna work? And then I'm like, oh, that couldn't have worked any better. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, but then obviously we had a lot of respect for Raphy for a long time. And there's, them dudes in Detroit, man, they rhyme different. It's a different, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it makes you want to come with your best, you know what I mean? So
I was just happy to be a part of it, man. Like fuck. I'm glad niggas was fucking with me, so it's just an honor to be part of this shit. So I really appreciate it.
you're on a tear, man. You're on a tear. I know every time that I blink and you got something else coming out. So keep foot on the gas, man. Salute.
The and for so Dove, quick question for you. Are there any songs on on the Triple Steel Beam totality of these 32, 33 songs? Can you think of any songs that you were like, ooh, I've never heard a Shrapknel song like this before. This is new shit.
I don't know. That's a good question. They're not playing in my mind as much as they once were because I listen to these albums 150,000 times before anyone else does. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Man, that doesn't sound like Shrapknel.
Or there was like a new
because they impose themselves on various types of things. So I'm hearing just like ridiculous beats from ridiculous producers that are gonna stand on their own as being really, really good, and then Shrapknel coming in and doing like their personality on it.
Right.
But if I flip through the playlist, maybe I'll come back to you with a song that's kind of was surprising.
I can give you one, and you can.
Yeah, you tell me then.
I'll give you. To me, because maybe the impetus for this question was "Hopeless Nautic" of Armature, which I think is
why, because it's like more soul sample sort of sounding.
Soul sample. It's a really beautiful song.
Who made that? Is that an Ohbliv track?
That's Ohbliv. Yeah.
One of your track Ohblivs?
That's Ohbliv. Yeah.
Beautiful beat.
Beautiful song, and it's like, yeah, it covers a lot of good relationship stuff. And I was like, oh, this is something that isn't on Cobalt, right? You can't get this anywhere else. Like this is new ground. So there are some new ground moments. I feel that way about Shabazz Dub. I feel like Shabazz Dub is something that is like totally not something I've heard on another Shrapknel album. I think there's a lot of new ground broken.
Speaking from making all these songs, I thought Ohbliv was the most was the biggest departure from what we've done before. You know what I mean? Like we're both big fans of his production, but to like get on these kind of brighter, like there's a warmth to him, that you don't have in a lot of our, and that's not, that's not saying anything about any other producer. It's just that there's something about his beats that we haven't had before, right? So you're gonna get different subject matter, right? You're gonna get a little, even like it passes a test that we're an acquired taste for a lot of people. Where like we make music for people who've been listening to rap music for 25 years. You know what I mean? Like people want to hear different, who want to, we don't want somebody to predict our rhyme that's coming next. Stuff like that. Right? Way we approach songs. So I think this passes a certain test that like if you put it on in a mixed set, like anybody's hanging out, I think it would be more people would turn their head and be like, well, what's this? What is this? What is this? Whereas our other stuff is a little more like in this vein of the hyper literate rap fan. You know what I'm saying? It would pass the average casual. Doesn't mean that it's any less Shrapknel. It's still us, and it's still writing the way. I think it maybe just has more appeal in a broader sense. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I think that's just like a testament to the inspirations that we all have, because for me, as somebody who kind of makes, I guess, would somebody say like groovier, groove stuff, but I make that as somebody that grew up listening to like Anticon and Def Jux and all of that hyper literate rap. I grew up with all of that, and that's something that I hold dearly, as an inspiration, just from the from the intellectual standpoint to the just the left fieldness, avant-garde, whatever you want to call it. But to inject some type of soulfulness into it and give it some just a different look, different feel, and still kick that hyper literate shit over that,
Yeah.
That's the interesting thing that I really appreciate about what you guys did with the tracks I gave y'all. So that's why I'm so excited for people to hear it, so
I don't want to make it sound like Ohbliv is dropping like heavy soulful, like it's a Horace Silver piano or anything. To me, it's more of a spiritual jazz, like reverberating chimes. Like and what I've long said is that if you are not at the final level of knowing yourself, an Ohbliv beat will expose you. You will melt away. Like the villain in the Indiana Jones thing, you will melt away. It doesn't work. You have to. Cool people sound amazing on Ohbliv beats.
Yeah.
And that's always been my rule, right? Raheem Supreme and all that. People who just are settled within themselves know who they are. And that, so there's to your point, Prem, like Thrift Ultra is just something different from, I think, what you guys had done before. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it is. I mean, yeah, it even, it like even my girl, I'll play all the music all the time as it's working, or she's like, hey, let me hear what you're working on. She like the Ohbliv was like, whoa, like what you got? This is nothing you've ever done before, like in a positive, positive reaction that way,
Yep. That's cool.
Yeah. Up for the challenge. We felt like we.
I mean, that's one thing as well that I appreciate is that you guys are up for the challenge. I feel like we might have talked about that a little bit, because like you're saying, like a lot of people get exposed or they try. There's certain rappers that I've sent beats to and they're like, I don't know what to do with this, So to be able to do something with it and make it, something that I think is going to be timeless,
yeah,
is commendable, and I'm honored to be a part of it,
And that's where I feel like Kay had mentioned earlier about like themes being developed over the 3 albums, and one of them being the blade thing and the swordsmanship. And that's where I feel Castro's personality heavy on this. Like as someone like the blade theme is like, I am a swordsman with this. My job is to be sharp. My job is to be ready to do my best work at any given time, right? At any given point you give me the chance, I have to be ready to do the best with this blade. And so the constant referencing of it, of kind of the samurai stuff, the blade opera, is a constant affirmation of like being ready to go.
Yeah.
Ready.
I mean, and I took it on multiple levels because I think there's like a writing element, but I think now I don't know how to say it. Like, it feels like very like, I don't want to say like all 3 projects, there seemed to be like an edge to it. Like, you had some, what's the word? Almost like you had some beefs to address.
Let me jump in here since I've been so sporadic.
Yeah.
So the blade terminology in particular, like we came up on Wu-Tang, Rough Riders, you know what I'm saying? Just groups and conglomerates, Mobb Deep in particular. And I always think it's important to create your own slang. We came up with slang masters, and they created their own lingo. So when you would hear the word done, you think of Mobb Deep. When you hear, my man's throwing his darts, you think of Wu-Tang. And I wanted to make a conscious effort. When people hear the word blaze, they think of shrapnel. We're exploding pieces of metal, always sharp, never dull. And I just wanted people to start associating. I have a whole bunch of little stupid phrases. Prem hates all of them, but I do them on purpose to create the mythology of like the shrapnel language or whatever. So now anytime people hear man sharpens made, like blade sharpens, like steel sharpens steel, I didn't come up with that, but they associate that with it. And so when you hear the term, and I mean it, we write blades. I ain't writing a butter knife. You know what I'm
No.
saying? We writing blades and shit. And so I want people like, when you pull a blade out, it leaves a scar. When you turn that shit off, you're gonna remember that shit. It's gonna keloid over. You know what I'm saying? And I'll stop this little tirade. I also wanted to say, I was been in and out, so my apologies. But whenever me and Prem have a successful record, there's a worry on my part about our fans accepting the new sounds. You know what I'm saying? So because nobody planning to leave this so well, I was like, and I'm not even lying, there was people out there that saying, oh, Controller 7 is part of the group. And we love 7. But I thought it's important to let people know that we have many styles, many, many, many styles. I always go back to that Beverly Hills Cop 2 scene when Eddie Murphy goes into, I can't remember the other one. It's not Taggart, it's the other guy. And he goes into his room and he closes the door. And he has all these guns on the back of the door. He's like, yo, you get down like this? I ain't know. But it was always different type of guns. And I felt like these projects of me and Prem displaying all our weaponry, different calibers, different blade points, different sharpness. You know what I'm saying? Banana clips, all that shit, grenades, whatever the fuck. And I just wanted people to see that we are versatile beyond their belief. So don't just stick us with any one producer. Think of us with all producers. You know what I'm saying? Because we could do it all. And the Ohbliv project in particular was our brightest work. We've never done work that bright in terms of the vibrancy, some of the subject matter and the sounds. So we appreciate it all.
Absolutely. And yeah, that's I had to include that in the breakdown of like the reaction to nobody planning to leave, the negative reaction being, this is just more Def Juk shit, right? Like, and you guys are the reason I love Def Juks. I grew up hating Def Juks. I love call out culture, so I've been converted and I understand everything now. But like you guys handled that well, like in the moment when that was rolling out of like, hey, it's an honor to be called Def Juk shit. Like this is where we are. But I knew you guys are bigger than that, and this allowed you to kind of expand bigger than that. And yeah, my favorite rap group in the world. ShrapKnel is my favorite rap group in the world.
Wow, thank you.
No question.
And we appreciate that. Thank
Great
you.
groups. That means a lot.
Yep. It's I think you're a big part of where Backwoods is today, because I think your first album on Backwoods dropped right as Armand Hammer was dropping really important work. And you guys know from the underground, there's a lot of labels where it's like, oh, it's those guys and a few of their friends,
Yep.
And you guys were like, nope, there's a lot here and you need to dig in. Like there's more.
Yeah, for sure. That's part of the reason we do. And I appreciate you saying that, but also the reason, we did something like this was like, we can't, we don't want to be contained within people's, ideas of for us or whatever, we are, an evolving duo, and we want that title. We want more people to say that, what you just said, and give people a lot of things to back that claim up. Whoa, what's so great about them? Well, all right, well, they just put out 3 records, and you can pick any song off all 3 and stand on it. Then I think that's what we kind of, that's one of the reasons like we did this. I think underlying it was to also like put our, just be like, yeah, we got some shit, man. We got some shit. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
The Raphy, do you have any song off Lincoln Continental Breakfast where you were like, holy shit, I'm glad we did this song. This is awesome.
Oh, Shabazz, man. That shit is crazy.
Shabazz Dub. One of the best
Yeah.
beats. I mean, that has lasers. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. And Dub went nuts on the 2, man.
Yeah, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, Dove's mixing and mastering on that. Crazy. So
Yeah, thanks, man. It's easy when the source material is so crazy from both ends.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
That's awesome. Same question to you, Ohbliv. Do you have any
From both ends. Pause.
Oh.
No, I was good. I didn't mean gay sex. I just meant what I meant was the artists and then the producers. So when I said from both ends, I didn't mean having sex, homosexual sex or anything like that.
No finger trap.
But if I did, that would be great too.
Dub is the only one that fights
Off the rails.
with actual explanation. If he fights pauses with facts.
Oh, I just get confused because I don't want, like it's totally fine if like I don't want you to think I was talking about something inappropriate on a podcast,
Right. Right.
That'd be weird.
On a
It'd be weird. It'd be
podcast,
weird to
pause.
feel that way.
Yo,
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess I get confused by your confusion.
Yeah. That's
I'm always on base with it.
the Ohbliv. Do you have any song like that where you were like, "Holy shit! I can't believe we reached this level together"?
I mean, honestly, it's the joint that they have featured on the the hard ticket history joint. Because my thing, personally, like I'm known for a certain sound. So anytime that I have somebody that appreciates my other stuff that I put out, the more I guess like just like anti-melody, because my stuff is pretty melodic, So stuff that's just more of that style, I appreciate. So and they made that like the featured track, so that's the first thing that people hear of the album. So for me personally, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I love that joint.
That's my
Yeah,
favorite.
ask Prem why he gave it that title. Ask Prem why he gave it that title.
What do you mean?
You titled that track.
Yeah, I know.
So just explain to people what that means.
Oh, I thought you were being like there was some contention over that title. Nah. Well, when you tour and when you book, like, so I did a lot of for years I did booking on my own, and a phrase that's often used is what's their hard ticket history, right? What did they sell? So that's probably more for bigger artists where like when they come through, they're like, okay, well they did 250 in Indianapolis or whatever. They did 150 in Detroit, 300 in Richmond or whatever. Yeah, I like it because obviously touring is what led us to all these artists one way or another. So it's like a nod to that. And it's also like proof. It's receipts, right? Like here's our receipts for like where we've been and where we're going and all that. But yeah, it's definitely a phrase used. I mean, the only time I've ever heard it used is like from a promoter. Like, oh, cool, yeah, they're great. They sound great. What's their hard ticket history in this market?
And Prem also has a mantra with ShrapKnel, like our opening songs and our closing songs have to be strong.
Yeah.
No matter what it is we're doing, no matter what color the sky is, the openings and the closes have to be strong.
Yeah.
And so he's really a stickler about that. So that's why hard ticket history became the first one.
People, one day streaming is gonna die, I hope, and we're gonna outlive it. And you're not gonna listen to people are always like, don't put such a good song as a closer because people never click on song number 10 or not song number 15.
Right.
But nah, eventually we're gonna be I think at one point, people owning music is gonna be supreme, because who knows what's gonna happen to all this stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's like when you listen to that record, that last song that plays on the vinyl or that song on the tape or whatever, it better be a big one.
Yeah, it's a lot like people thought they weren't going to have to buy movies anymore because they would just like stream on these services, and then like you're like, oh, these movies are here and gone in a day or two on these services. Like you can't count on them being there. You still better buy what you want to keep. It gets weird out there, and it's going to be weirder, no question. But yeah, that's hard ticket history is my favorite opener. Piecemeal might be my favorite closer.
I was ambitious, man. That was all Castro. I was like, I don't know what you're saying.
Lyrics.
Rapping at the same time, like I don't know about.
Yeah,
that.
I've been a heavy Quantum fan and Lyrics. So if any listeners know who they are, group, a conglomerate out the Bay, Gift the Gab, Black Alicious, Chief XL, they all roll with them, and Shadow, yes. And so they have this style. It is a lyric style because I will say they're the ones that popularized it, where they rap on top of each other.
Yeah.
Now, the way this lyric style works is a little different than me and Prem because their styles are so divergent, like very, like even the rhythms, they don't even match up. So when you hear their stuff on top of each other and you change the channels, it's very distinct. Like it's literally like one song, then the other ear is a whole nother song. And it's a long piece. And I've always wanted to do that. Like always, I always wanted to do that, but I'm not gonna do it myself, pause. Right. So So when we got piecemeal, I was like, now one of my shrapnel mantras is I like us to keep up our back and forth game. I think it's important. I think a lot of people don't even do it no more. And we have high idols with that, the Locks, the leaders of the new school. You know what I'm saying? Like really, Trigger the Gambler, fucking Camp Low. So I was like, all right, let's go back and forth on the song. And then I reiterate. I said, oh, I got the lyrics idea. And I didn't really tell Prem kind of at first. As we were going, when we do back and forth, we do it pretty much digitally. So I'll send him my piece, he'll go over it, send him his piece, and we build it like that. So when we got to the end, I said, yo, we're gonna do this joint, right? The 4 8 bars, whatever at the end. And I'm gonna write mine 4 8 bars. We just gonna go over top each other. He's like, huh? Okay. You know what I mean? And it take him a little to convince him. But I didn't really pitch it to him early. And then it just came off. So I was really proud of that moment. I really love Piecemeal. And look, funny. So I'm listening to it in my headphones, right, on my phone, and my headphone adapter on my phone makes everything mono. So I'm like up Dub's ass. Yo, you didn't put him in the channel. I want one in right channel, one in left channel. So Dub's like, what are you doing? It's that way. He showed me. And when I finally went home to my stereo with like my real headphones, it wasn't me. It wasn't mono. It was putting in. I was like, oh yes. But I definitely was on Dub's ass about that.
Yeah.
So that's my fault.
I thought Piecemeal was technically like the most experimental piece that you've done on all three projects to me. I really dug like you said that those multiple rhythms, and I thought it was like really like really outside of the box for what I'd known you guys to have done in the past. It almost like for me it was like set up. Like I really enjoyed first the Fat Boys breakup. So I think it was Castro and maybe Fat Boy Sharif.
That song is to your point, Kate. That song, Prem had that hook, and I was like, "Yo, what are you doing?" And it was just, and the funny thing is, Prem had written before I had heard the fully fleshed out Raphy beat. Like I heard the beat, but there's a loop and then there's the breakdown. And Bremen wrote the hook already. So we doing the joint. He's like, I got it. The tank, hook up. The tank. I was like, what is wrong with you? And so like that really caught me. I really like that moment. That caught me off guard, just in terms of how he flipped his rhythm and style for that hook part. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. So I was like, boom, we doing that. And now I didn't initially have Sharif in mind, but I wanted 3 verses. And usually with shrapnel stuff, it's usually just 1 verse from each of us and some hooks. But I wanted 3 verses so we could have more hooks. And not just sometimes we'll just have 1 hook in the middle of a track and then let the track go off. But I wanted the hook to come back a couple of times because Prem had done some excellent job. So I remember he gave me the hook. He gave me the hook before I wrote my piece. And then Sharif was on like Demon Time. I think I actually had him write 2 things for me in that period of time. One of them went to first the Fat Boys break up. And I always and it's funny because around that time we in our other thread, some record crew thread, we were talking about how the Fugees are one of the most infamous criminal organizations ever created. So not only are they hit music makers, but the 3 of them have high-end criminal involvements, right? With governments and fines and things of that nature. So I remember them coming back. Now it's not lined up perfectly. Like they came back for another reunion when I was writing it, but it was like around that time they had quote unquote getting back together again. And so I got into the thought of like Fugees break up, get back together again. Miss Hill with wild makeup for Miss Hill and all her friends. And I was just like, all right, yeah. And what Prem was saying in the hook, it made me think of, the Fat Boys broke up. And as sad as it is, the Fat Boys can't get back together because 2 of them have moved on. So I was just rolling with those themes and stuff like that. But that hook was really, that's some Prem's. I mean, Prem's better hook writer than I am. So when he gets that pen going, I'll just follow suit. No problem.
About that hook though, it the band gonna break up, and then it goes back to band going patch up. It doesn't matter if the math don't add up because the people break up because they can't get along or the creative differences or whatever. One person wants to go do this thing now, but most bands get back together because the math.
The money was good when you're together.
It's no longer adding up. Like I'm not making the same. You know what I mean? You weren't that bad. You weren't that bad. Work with, and I just thought it was kind of a tragic but yet funny concept, you know, because it's like, yeah, all right. But you know, every group had something in the beginning, so if you can tap back into that chemistry, then it'll be all right. But yeah, the Fugees are yeah, every single one of them, man, is like criminal mastermind.
Like, I'm telling you, man, they all free right now still too.
Are they the Brett Favre of hip hop? Is that what we're?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that because Favre was scamming, you know, like I mean,
No, he was his scams. He was trying to like enrich himself. These people are getting away with like heists. This is like Ocean's hip hop.
Yeah.
They're like they're like influencing politics over.
They're like Wycliffe has governmental stuff like influencing the Haiti government, like you know,
and Praz as well.
Yeah, Praz. Yeah, he also
had
so
issues.
Yeah.
Paperwork, you know.
And then I think Lauren has copyright and writing issues, with unpaid musicians. Yeah, so they go for it.
No. We haven't gotten to John Forte, the man who
with the 2 million of liquid coke.
Yeah.
Look, legend in two games like I'm Pee Wee Kirkland. That's the root. That
dude was like Pablo Escobar on the low. I'm like, every single one of you.
That's intense. That's intense.
Realest rap group ever. Fugees, realest rap group.
Now that's true. That's real talk.
Yeah,
real talk.
Don't mess with Jersey. You know, I learned that early in life.
I mean, they started with the outsiders. Apple don't fall far from the tree.
Yep.
How he feels now about the Fugees' legacy.
Shoot. And Salam Rebbe, look, Salam's like, all right, look, y'all too crazy. Look, when Salam
you got to chill.
Yeah, I'm gonna go chill with Nas and his crazy brother Jungle rather than y'all. Like, seriously.
Yeah. Nas is less erratic. You're like, that's a whole nother issue.
Crazy to think about, yo.
Yeah, but it.
Proud will be like, hold on, I gotta take this phone call. Hello, Prime Minister. Who do you got on your phone?
You know, the real people.
Yeah.
I only got LL Cool J number. Y'all got the real people. You know what I'm saying?
Praz is selling a black market submarine to somebody.
Oh, most definitely he's selling off the park.
Sales of uranium. Like, what's going on?
I wanted to give some love to Sasir Le Feu.
Yes, sir.
And I think it's originally I didn't know what to make of it, but now it's become absolutely one of my favorites because I think let me give it a myth. Let me give it a myth intro. So Sasir Le Feu means seize fire or seize the fire. But I was making a play on ceasefire. But we, Prem and I and our contemporaries, we seize fire. So same thing. And at first it was called something else. Then I had to double check with some French friends of mine. And Prem, we have a real heavy French friend. He wanted me to double check with him, but I did make sure. But I did change the title. So at first it was Prendre Le Feu, which is capture the fire. It's just the wrong word. And that's why the cover is the obelisk, right? The like from 2001. Like when the monkeys saw this big black thing, not only were they playing with the bone in 2001, but they're discovering something new, like caveman discovering fire. So it was me. That's why the cover was kind of looking at the obelisk, like, oh, this is the next thing we're discovering. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it was really important. Just to keep going, sorry, Dan. No, that Sonia Sanchez's voice is throughout the record. She was my professor. One of the first people ever told me that I wrote good poetry. So I give her mad props to her because I'm serious. I wouldn't even kept rhyming if she didn't give me a little cosign. I took 6 classes of hers. I didn't even need to take 2 of them. I took 2 actually. She's a icon. If anybody's not familiar with her work, just look up Sonia Sanchez. And you know, I'm hoping, like, I like to leave breadcrumbs to lead people certain places, and I'm hoping that people go and discover Miss Sanchez if they have not. That was my first reaction. You learned poetry from Sonia fucking Sanchez?
The funny thing is, I probably could have maybe done like work and actually got her to do it for me. Because I am one of her students. And so I think I could have made some worlds. I'm not getting ahead of myself. You know what I'm saying? But I did think about it to try to get in contact with her.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just the and that piece that I used, it became popular through Lovecraft Country. They reused it in their soundtrack. If you go on their soundtrack, she does that piece, and it's more fully formed, not distorted like I made it. But yeah, it was with me and Prem, it was really important for us to get some work now with Lad. this thing was like a few years in the making. We had met in person, and just big fans and Festicon fans. You know what I'm saying? Big fans. Prem is a really big fan, and of Lad's earlier work. And so when we were able to connect with him, and like the thing was, Lad, we didn't even ask him for beats right then. He played a beat in his set, and I said, "No, I'm not even gonna be shy." I went right into. I said, "Yo, can we have that?" Like straight, like that's what the beat said, and I was like, "Yo, can we have that?"
Yeah,
and
and if you guys aren't familiar with his work, and it's kind of it's a bit hard to contain. It's like it goes back into like the late '90s. But like the way to describe this guy is he's built like a bricklayer. Like his hands are like,
yes,
like man, this dude is. But he's like a poet, like a
yes,
like
exactly.
brilliant. His mom, I think, is a Harvard professor, or I mean, she's retired now.
She has accolades though. Yes, yes, she does.
Yeah, like big time. And this dude is brilliant, and like, but the way he talks like one of the, he's just like he just got punched the clock with the Teamsters, you know what I mean? And like he's sober like 25 years or something like that, but he went out and got a 6-pack of non-alcoholic beer, and he's like, nah, I want to drink with you guys, and I'm like, it was that kind of vibe. And he was telling he's like, yeah, I'm out. He's in Paris because his wife is French, but he's from Boston, but he made his name in New York. So he's, when you talk to him, he sounds like a dude from the East Coast, right?
Right.
And but he speaks French fluently, but he plays dumb around the French to see how they react.
He does.
That's amazing.
He's like, they think I'm stupid, but I know everything they're saying. Like, he's a good dude, and he's I'm not spilling any type of beans, but he's coming back with some
fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
And so he spits on one of my favorite songs of the year, the Reese Langston, The Orchestra is Dreaming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And he has a great feature on Atheos. Atheos?
Yeah.
It's Atheos, right? He's on the end of a song. He's on the end of Christine. Yeah.
Yeah, on Woods' record, Atheos. She's also on Henry Canyon's got a record with him, a record out with him as well.
Yep.
Nice.
But the Sasir Le Feu, I was gonna say it has the best screw face run from 11 to 12, right? Alphabet Foe with Dose 1, which that's a beat.
Alphabet Fa.
That's a beat that sounds like it's glitching. And
the funny thing about that beat that PremRock probably didn't think, but to me, no, not Alphabet. No, I'm thinking wrong. I'm sorry. On Sasir Le Feu, Blacksmith and Hoplophobia.
Yep.
They sounded the same to me for a while.
Right.
And because he used similar elements.
Yeah.
And so I told Prem, I said, yo, we probably gotta bookend that, make one early and one late. Even though the beats aren't the same, just in my brain. Prem, did you feel that way?
Yeah.
I just realized that you were at Dubs. That's funny.
Oh, you just yeah, I'll be here early, bro. I had to catch an early train, cheap.
Yeah, fair.
Raphy know what I'm talking about.
Oh, real quick. I told Bliv about you took the Amtrak from Richmond to Philly, but something went wrong.
Bliv.
We gotta do a little travel.
So the trip was supposed to take about 5 hours, pretty much flat. So I was like, that's cool. I've done that in a flight. Something happened where there was a train in front of us and they moved us over to a side line. Son, 11 hours. 12 hours. I didn't get home. I left. Prem, I don't even know what I left. 5. Prem left before me. I didn't get into 1 in the morning. So they gave, this is the moral of the story is they gave me 2,000 points. That's how bad it was. It was really bad. So they just shot me a whole bunch of points, which I've used twice already. Because I was just on the thing. Prem was home before me for hours. And he left. He left after me or something like that. And it was he left before me. He had an early choice. So I was just chilling because I have people's in VA. And I was chilling there till 5. Oh my God.
I would need all the points after that.
Because I was wondering what they were just gonna do, because it was very just whatever plans you had to get at wherever you're supposed to destinate, that was done. So I was just seeing how I didn't know if they were just gonna straight up refund me, but they did give me a whole bunch of points. So that was the one good thing. I was cool, but it was long. So I'm thinking I'm getting home at 10. I think I didn't get home until maybe 3, 4 in the morning. It was rough.
Yeah, see, because I was telling Prem that I haven't had a bad Amtrak trip. You know, like they've been pretty smooth. But he told me that you had
Yeah, that was the one. That was the one.
That was the one.
That was the one.
That was the one. So I was talking about the back-to-back bangers there, Gyroscope, Dose 1, 11, 12. But also beyond that, Mercure is one of the most fun
Yeah.
songs of the 3 albums. Database is hypnotic with an incredible hook.
Database, that's all Prem. Part of a lot of that is Prem. He wrote that hook.
Incredible hook. And just like it's got some of the brightest moments and most like fun moments, but it's also got some of the nastiest, most off-kilter moments. It almost feels like a salute to how many different chambers underground rap has, you know?
Prem, is it a little Deltron 3030 for you? Or no? Because I don't know that
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Later vibes to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it sounds the most like ShrapKnel, like
Good point.
3, maybe. I don't know. Like it isn't like it's more a little industrial and like
like how people introduce themselves to us with their lucid stuff. So some people's minds.
That dissonant sounds clashing against each other.
That, also, let's not forget that's a lot of that. I know people give it to lucid, but a lot of that was Green. Green did a lot with our vocals to give us that type of aesthetic, moving forward. Yeah.
So I think it was more like what you come to expect. So maybe a little more in our wheelhouse than the other 2 records. So it's like
that's like Shark Bait makes a lot of sense with Feek and
shout out to Feek.
there. Yeah.
Shout out because I know Feek and Bliv knew each other before we met. So
no, it's
talking for a while.
No, it's
he gets busy.
Bliv, don't you got something with Feek? Am I ruining it? A little bit.
We do. Yeah.
Okay, there it is.
I can say, yeah, we do.
There it is. That's all. I'm not trying to ruin it. I just wanted people to know to be ready.
Be on the lookout. We working it out. You know.
I'm into that.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that's great. I would say it's Sasir Le Feu is a perfect middle of the movie. You know, if you're viewing this as the transition, it is.
Yeah.
Because you're right. It sounds like you guys. It has like tough sounds. It has, fun points. It's a real movie.
Yeah. I thought the Lincoln Continental Breakfast, to me, it was like cinematic to me. It was like the soundtrack to a movie in a lot of ways to me. And I thought like the Sasir Le Feu, to me, like it was a little bit more grounded and a little bit darker and edgier. So I thought the contrast going between the projects, they really like there's almost like there's a connectivity there because they highlight the strengths of each other.
I like that. I like that a lot.
And again, a lot of these connections are totally unintentional. Like I think we did write them together and we did record them together, but we made sure we did it in sections. So when we be at Dove's, we'd work on a Raphy record, do a couple of joints. Then if we were going to do an Ohbliv joint, we would work on Ohbliv joints just to not confuse Dove and jump around.
Because I did want to ask that when you guys were creating, were you creating for one project with another project in mind?
We wrote all 3 at the similar time. Okay. Around the same time. But also, here's the other caveat. Prem was finishing up his solo.
Right.
So we really had 4 projects spinning on plates. You know what I'm saying? Prem had finished most of his primary writing on that one, but he was still finishing up some things and aesthetic things. So we really had like 4 plates going at once.
So when you were like creating something for Lincoln Continental Breakfast, were you thinking of Sasir Le Feu? Did you have like, okay, like this is the vibe of that project, so this is how that's going to affect what we're doing now? Was there like a synergy between?
I don't think there was anything consciously. I think it was more so our workflow. Like I said, we would work on one project at a time if we had multiple things to do, and then we the same session though. But then we would be like, all right, Dub, let's move on to Sasir Le Feu, or let's go back to Lincoln Continental. Okay, we're done with that. Let's work on Armature. So just it wasn't like a zigzag that way, but when we were working, we would work on one project's items at a time.
Oh,
and then we would work on the next project's items at that time.
Yeah, we had to be somewhat organized, man. So I had a nightmare like a Raphy track ending up on the Ohbliv joint because we fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like we get the vinyl and the test press is like, what the hell is this doing on here? You know?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a little Easter egg. We got the test presses back. Which project was it?
It
was Armature.
Armature.
I want to say I'm gonna have to cut in 10 minutes. Somebody's showing up.
Yeah, I know that. But I'm gonna get out the way, man. Don't be embarrassing me on my podcast, man.
Anyway, I was just letting you guys know politely.
You ain't gotta let nobody know. You the king.
But Armature, the vinyl cutting engineer put the on side B, put the first song last.
Oh, okay.
And it shifted everything, and I don't understand. So when I hit them up, I'm like, yo, everything's labeled right here. Like, I filled out your paperwork correctly. I did all this. And they were like, our bad. They cut it. They had to recut the metal plates.
Whew.
So there was a delay. This would have been out even sooner. The whole thing would have been out probably, no exaggeration, probably like a whole 3 weeks sooner or something like that.
Yeah.
If not a month sooner, the whole thing. But yeah, that delayed it. There's no way to change the track order. Let's say it was 2 tracks in the middle. Maybe it could have been a discussion if we changed the art or something or whatever. But nah, you can't just make the first song last like that.
No.
Change the whole album. Right there.
Exactly. So it was a non-starter, and it was their fault. And I've learned my lesson now to only submit vinyl manufacturers one long file. So it removes even the option for them to fuck up. They get one long file with the.
There you go. Peek behind the veil.
Gotta love it.
Gems from Atomic.
Just to give. Okay, do you have any runs of songs on these projects that you were really into?
What, you want me to go one by one?
Yeah, let's do one by one.
I mean, for Lincoln Continental Breakfast, I really loved Blade Opera, first the Fat Boys breakup, Lie Detector Test.
Ooh, that's a good run.
And then Sasir Le Feu, I really liked. So starting with 8, so I know I'm gonna murder these. Mercure.
Yep.
Bitter Root, Down Gorgeous. And then I liked off Armature, Poor Rich, Folding Circle, and Flip Murray.
Yeah. Folding Circle, I think that might be like I don't think I ever rapped on a beat like that. And I was like,
it's a beautiful beat.
Yeah.
Like Liv said, groove, man. Grooves. And,
and
the thing is, if rappers don't know what to do with grooves, then I don't know what are you doing? You know? You're not like at the end of the day, you're a vocalist, right? Like ride that, make it your own, you know, and that was great, man, for me.
You certainly did, brother.
Well, thank you. Had to do your beats justice, you know.
Yeah, that's fair. I would say, Kay, I'm gonna go with on Legal Continental Breakfast, Shabazz Dub, Bruiser Continental, Blade Opera.
Yep.
So right before your run.
That's JUS, baby.
And I'm going with it's tough with the that's tough. It's tough.
After We Fat seems like a song that's sticking out for like everybody of all 30 times. People really like After We Fat.
Funky, you know.
Yes, that funk.
Gotta prove
and it's a groove and a good hook.
Absolutely.
That funk, man. You gotta have some funk.
I think I agree with Kay's. I'm doubling on Kay's Sasir Le Feu, the Mercure, Bitter Root, Down Gorgeous. I think I'm gonna second that emotion. And then I'm gonna go on Armature. I'm gonna go 6, 7, 8. Whose man's is this? Hopeless
that song is crazy.
Absolutely.
That song is crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Shout out Riff.
That was one of those things where I was like, and I wrote this in the breakdown that like when I'm talking to rappers in Discord, like I use Castro as an example of someone who can always get the audience's attention by switching up what he does, switching up his voice, switching up the cadence, the delivery. It's almost like that weird old Beethoven story where like he got louder because people were sleeping in the audience, and so that's about like to wake these people up. Like
Yeah.
Castro does that all the time. You
Yeah,
can't.
that's not even my original idea, especially for whose man's is this? That's a guy on TikTok, and he goes up to people. They're doing ridiculous things, and he keeps them like out the camera, like right. He's like, "Whose man is this?" And it just
Classic.
again, and the beat just made me think of that. I don't know how sometimes stuff bridges itself, and I was like, "All right, cool. I'm gonna put that in a hook somehow," and I had to write the hook first. But yeah, that was the main point, was to get that line on. Whose man is this? Like, whose guy is this? And that's why the hook is can't even do wingman. Like the guy can't do anything. Like this guy gets lost, he can't do nothing. And so like, whose guy is this? Who? And it's like, because the term whose man is like, who's here? Who's this man? Who brought this guy? Because he's here. So whose man is it? Nobody wants to take credit. You know what I'm saying? That's not friend brought him or something. You know what I mean?
Right. No, that's beautiful. That's yeah. This is a huge step forward for you guys. I think I want everyone to sit with all these, and really dig into all the albums. Yeah, and enjoy this. And I told you, Prem, I think you're on an MVP style run right now.
Oh, they're giving it to Premi. 2025 is his year. That's what the word is. That's the word.
In the mix.
You'd be lying if I said I wasn't trying.
Is it the way you changed like how you rap from the solo album to the ShrapKnel stuff, where it's shorter and it's punchier and it's more direct?
Yeah.
And I catch those lines all the time. Where I'm just, damn, that's so succinct. And you've been the opposite for a lot of your like literary and expanding, and you still do that on your solo, and you switch it up on this, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and and shout out to Castro, man, because it creates challenges and ways, and the producers, the company that we have here right now, like if you're not challenging yourself, I mean, when artists stop challenging themselves, they get complacent, and then as a listener right away, like, oh man, this dude just doing that same record that made him noticeable.
Supreme Clientele 2 say what?
Yeah.
Hey man, come on.
I was about
he did a decent job.
He's in his 50s and he's doing
it's a decent job.
Doing his thing. I think relative to expectations, that's a pretty good record. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but I wasn't expecting Mighty Healthy type songs to come out in 2020. But you stop challenging yourself, like you end up coming with these paint by number records, and like honestly, that's a fate worse than death to me. I don't want ever to be known as that. I'd rather go out.
We don't want anybody to be able to predict our rhyming words before we finish the line.
Yeah. I said that when you were on transit. I said that's exactly that's my mission statement. If you finish my line, I failed.
Yeah, I'm not doing it right.
That's real. That's the most ShrapKnel shit ever.
Yeah.
Kay, do you have any conclusion stuff, or do you want to go to recommendation corner?
I wanted to ask, do you feel like so the 3 projects were released, did you release them in that specific order because you wanted them to be listened in that order, or do you really care how they're listened to? Like,
that's a great question.
Yeah, because remember, Castro, I was like, we're putting Raphy out first.
Yeah, we came up with that one like kind of early.
That like in a fight, hit you in the nose. Now you're disoriented. Now, like, we got to get you right. Like from the jump of Raphy's album, it's all gas, no brakes. So that's how I wanted.
Me and Mariah go back like Dookie and Pacified.
Yeah, we wanted that. That was very intentional. And then I wanted to close with Ohbliv. I wanted
so to them to see that we could do this too. That was important. So yeah.
It was intentional.
The order was intentional. Now, as far as how you digest the material, that's up to the listener. Okay, but the order of release was intentional.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay.
So to recommendation corner, the first one I think is I'll go with an obvious one, which is Unlearning Volume 2.
Shout out
I,
Evan.
Shout
Ev-
out, that'd be
I mean,
easy.
Evidence
Go.
rapping over Seb Bash, like Evidence, rapping over Q3. Shout out to, I mean, Evidence
Hell of a career.
tapped
Right.
in, man. Tapped in, and
And
so
I mean the ability to survive changes and phases in the career because he was in a very successful group, and his partners in that group, they're not doing as well as he is. They're doing all right, but they're not as elevated as Ev. And I really appreciate that he was able to pivot to being a solo artist.
yeah, yeah, he's fantastic. But and also another one people should check out is Got Juice, the mixtape by Queen, Queen. We first heard about Queen because Karis Lamb came on the show. Used to
Oh,
write.
shout out to Karen.
Yeah, Kara's awesome.
That's cool.
And she brought the Queen project. I think it was Tales of Gotham. It's really good. Released a new mixtape. Man, just spitting, having a good time over
She
dope.
from New York?
Was it? Is it? I think she might live in New York, but be originally from like North Carolina. I think, but it's a very New York sound.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's dope though.
We're almost done. We're almost done. No, we're almost done.
Yeah, we're almost done. So Castro, what are you listening to?
Oh, shit, I can pull it up. Let me look at it real quick. I am listening to Gabe Fernandez and Preservation, album of the year, Contender, Sword and Rich. Correct. And Prez is going bananas on this joint.
Those beats are insane.
Prez is going bananas.
Yeah.
The new wave generators, bananas.
Oh.
Yeah, bananas. The first two singles, the first one with Elucid, I ain't heard Gutter that good. Seriously, real talk. And then for my third selection, or two more, listening to Sunmundi and Sasko, Contacting, and then Big Brother Blueprint with Vessel.
Oh, I haven't heard that
like
yet.
The going back to church joint, like big time. I'm coming in a second. So like big time with Blueprint. I knew of this record some years past that he was working on in different stages and shit. And so I'm really proud and happy he got that to the finish line.
I got a little addendum there. So
yes,
I challenge anybody to come up with a top 10 that doesn't include rapper over 40 this year.
Wow.
Try to make a top 10 with a rapper that's not 40 or, so you can't include the Clips, Billy Woods, no Gibbs, no Blueprint.
The Clips record is like Malice.
You can't include Evidence, you can't include ShrapKnel.
Right.
Now try to make a top 10, see what that looks like. Just saying, the old guys are winning.
Good point, bro. Great point.
What is my? You got me wanting to look at my top 10 now, but yeah, because I got lots of people in it, weird people. Anyway, yeah. So, and by the way, shout out to Castro. Those first two albums you mentioned are our next two guests.
Oh,
next guest, Wave Generators, special guest host, not really, and then after that, Gabe and Prez. So yeah, we're moving on that shit. Prem, what do you listen to? What are you rocking with?
I know not everybody's loving this shit, but big fan of the new Cool Compete record. It's a little spacey, it's a little out there, but it's really good. If you're patient with it,
Prem Gatto.
If you're patient with the new Cool Compete, it's gonna pay off later. I'm trying to see what else I got going on here. I listened to that Earl yesterday.
Yeah.
That shit was really good.
Yeah, good. Really concentrated and focused. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trim the fat.
Preservation is a madman. Gabe is a great lyricist. So shout out to them. Backwoods fam, obviously. Other than that, yeah, I think that I'll go with those recommendations. I'll echo the Blueprint and the Evidence too. Is like, and that's all part of my like older wise rappers right now. They got it. We got it. We got it.
Having a moment.
Love listening to the next generation though, because that's how you stay tapped in. But we got this year, I think.
Especially Sunmundi, who killed it at our FME showcase.
Yeah, shout out. I met him for the first time. Is he Dubs right now?
He's here right now.
Can he pop in and say what's up? No?
Sunmundi.
They want to say hi to him.
It already got leaked together, but I was gonna keep it real low.
They want to say what's up to him.
Sunmundi's the man. Hey, no, we're grateful for Sunmundi.
Yeah, no
He
pressure.
killed it with Shamar.
Props.
So it was dope. It was dope. So what? Ohbliv, what are you listening to?
Man, I'm listening to actually a lot of Renee and Angela. Y'all know Renee and Angela?
No,
I'm not familiar.
Yeah. Sample fodder, basically. You know what I'm saying? But no, Renee and Angela, so Cardi B just came out with Imaginary Players, the remake of the
Yeah.
So the original group that made the sample that they sampled for
Oh, okay.
that group, right? So I just been listening to a lot of that, just tapping back into that, like songwriting, arrangements. I'm on that type of time, you know what I'm saying? So I just been listening, like religiously listening to that.
More fire to come. More fire to come.
I got that. I gotta hear that now.
Yeah, Renee self-titled. Look
Okay.
at it. Spotify, whatever you got to do. Yeah.
Shout out to when we did an interview with Yaya Bay.
If people want to say hi to you, come on.
And
there you go.
After we logged, Sunmundi, what's
It's
up?
on speaker, my bad.
Yeah, man.
We were just talking about favorite records, and then you popped up, so now you know.
Y'all can. What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm checking. Yeah, Sunmundi is, and Sunmundi's not an old rapper, right? Sunmundi's a young
he's the next wave, man.
right?
Yo, what's up?
Peace.
What's going on?
Peace.
Contacting. Buy it. Are you gonna have vinyl for this? Are you gonna do merch? Is there gonna be a Sunmundi beanie? Going?
I think we're sets. Maybe vinyl. I think it's like in the works. Like hopefully.
We gotta do that. Thank you for popping in as a special guest.
Hell yeah.
Thank
That's
you.
Dub's crib. That's Dub's crib. You never know who's gonna pop up.
Yeah, that's, right. That's true.
You do it. Yeah.
No problem. And special guesting at the show.
This should stay close.
It will, fool. Yo, our man is Dub. All right, our man is Dub. Any decisions y'all see him make, no, he had to run them by me first.
That's it. The Cameron and paid in full situation.
You got 12 bricks in there, though? You got 12 bricks right there? Oh, yeah,
Thank you. Yeah. But yeah, we had Yaya Bay on a few weeks ago.
Oh, super talented.
Super talented. After we logged off, was immediately like going through 80s R&B knowledge with us.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was so dope. Shit.
Yaya Bay's dad?
It's not Yasin, but she. Yeah, he's somebody known. He's a name.
Masai Bay, or is that, I don't know.
Is Saigon?
No, Masai Bay.
No. Listen.
No, it's not Masai.
Yaya Bay has nothing to do with Yasin Bey. I'm saying her father is like Granddaddy IU or something.
Yes, that's what I was saying. Her father. That's what I meant. I said people at first associate her with most, and then her father is Granddaddy IU.
Oh, no.
Wow, that's crazy. I did not know that. That's dope.
Hey Dan, you had her as a guest and you didn't know who her dad was?
Yeah, I don't dig into people's dads and shit like that. I'm not
you gotta pop out like Nardwar,
Your research, Dan.
I like not doing the research. I remember when I did a review about Big Pun's son and how great his music was, and I had no idea who's Big Pun's son.
That's what's up.
Music? It's good.
All right, sorry, we're getting off course. We need Raphy's.
Raphy, let's do this. What do you listen to?
Oh man, right now I've been running back the clip shit. That shit's fire. Alchemist and Freddie Gibbs went nuts. Like them beats are nuts. Al got me high. Like that shit's fire.
We glitched.
You froze up.
Quedeca, this kid Quedeca, yo, his shit is bad. What'd y'all hear me say?
What?
All right, my bad. So the Alchemist shit, the Cliff shit, and this kid Quedeca, yo, this shit's crazy.
Quedeca, how you spell it?
Quadeca. He's like, bro, this kid's making full length movies for like the album. Bro, he makes a movie and the album is like the soundtrack for the movie. So he has like a full hour movie like this.
Oh shit.
He learned, bro, for this album he like learned to sail and shit and like sailed like to different places in the world like the Philippines, like Iceland. Like, bro, this nigga fooling, bro, and the music is crazy. Like
I'm gonna check it out.
yeah, he's nuts. This kid is nuts. This kid is nuts.
I got
This kid is nuts.
Absolutely.
Like songwriting, production, he's doing it all, bro. This kid is nuts. This kid is nuts.
Awesome. That's great. And anything else? Like, we got to check into that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've been running back a bunch of Patrice Rushen right now. Just, she's the truth. Like, just listening to that. And then just digging. But really, the Quedeca shit. That's just probably been in rotation a bit. That shit going nuts.
Yeah, sounds crazy.
Also, people can look forward to my much too in-depth review of Comemos, Rich Jones and Good Food. I break it down in movements. It gets really nerdy. You're gonna love it. That's gonna be available to everybody. So by the time this comes out, so check it out. Freemusicempire.com. Yeah. Kay, what are you rocking with? What are you doing?
Nothing new this week, but you guys put me on to a lot of good things this week. I gotta check out.
Good deal. It's a good deal. Yeah. You got a little bit of summer left. Use it, people. Use it. Use it or lose it.
What will tomorrow bring? What will tomorrow